Tick, tock, tick, tock. That was the sound echoing in every corner of Hallows Ridge, a small secluded town shrouded in perpetual evening shadows. In the early 1900s, a quaint clock shop sat squashed between two croaking lampposts. It belonged to Elias Grimsby, a clockmaker known for his unparalleled craft. His clocks were said to keep perfect time, sculpted not just with gears and precision, but with eerie, lifelike figurines that moved at the strike of every hour. Word spread quickly, and people traveled from neighboring towns to marvel at Elias's creations. But some whispered rumors soon replaced the admiration. "There's something not right about those clocks," they'd murmur. "It's as if they're alive." Curiosity eventually gave birth to speculation when strange occurrences started plaguing Hallows Ridge. People reported a constant ticking sound in their homes, the sound of a clock long after they'd gotten rid of every timepiece in their possession. Not a subtle sound, but loud, insistent, and invasive. Worse still, it seemed to target those who had visited Elias's shop, haunting them relentlessly, as if Elias's clocks had a vendetta all their own. Let's dive deeper into the story that sent shivers through this little town. Elias's masterpiece was his grand clock tower, a looming structure that stood at the heart of Hallows Ridge. It was a monstrosity, gleaming with gears larger than a man and figurines as tall as a child. The townsfolk had gathered eagerly to see its grand unveiling. That first strike of midnight would forever cement the clock tower's name into infamy. As midnight approached, Elias stood proudly before his creation, while the crowd waited in awe. The clock began its chiming. But instead of the melodious ring expected of such craftsmanship, an agonizing cacophony erupted. People fell to their knees, clutching their ears. Some fled in terror. The cacophony was not just noise. It was unbearable, as if it bore into the very souls of the listeners. And then, silence. Everything stopped. The once busy town square became still. Elias had vanished. The grand clock tower remained, though many argued it should be torn down. Town leaders claimed the sound was merely a mechanical error, but the people saw something much darker in that horrific night. Those figurines that once delighted and intrigued, they seemed changed, their faces twisted into expressions of fear, anger, and pain. It was as if they were prisoners within the clock. Rumors ran wild that the essence of Elias had somehow infused the gears and figurines, a curse that would play out for eternity. Over the years, visitors to the clock tower experienced inexplicable things. Chilling winds on windless days, the sensation of being watched and muffled, inhuman whispers emanating from within the walls. Then the disappearances began. First, a young boy chasing his ball, then a delivery man, a curious tourist, vanished without explanation. Locals now avoided the square entirely, leaving it in a decayed, ghostly state. But wait, it gets much worse. A paranormal researcher named Clara ventured into the center of Hallows Ridge, determined to solve the mystery. With her equipment and nerves of steel, she approached the grand clock tower. She recorded the ticking immediately, not from the clock, mind you, but from all around her, as if the very air pulsated with it. Entering the tower against locals' warnings, Clara found herself surrounded by webs of intricately meshed gears, each one pulsating unnaturally as though it breathed. She snapped photos, recordings, everything documented for proof. And then it happened. One by one, her instruments faltered, turning on and off, their readings scrambled. The air reeked of rust and something metallic. Was it blood? And just as she prepared to leave, she heard a whisper, but not in her ears, in her head. "Help me," it croaked, like the screech of an ancient metal grinding against itself. Clara escaped that night, or so she thought. But her story ends with one haunting fact. To this day, people in Hallows Ridge report hearing the faint ticking of a clock wherever Clara goes, even though she smashed that last recording device years ago. So what do you believe? Was it Elias who cursed his masterpieces, injecting something sinister into their very gears? Or did the clock tower itself claim its maker and those who are drawn to it? One thing is certain: time waits for no one. Tick, tock,